What's up, everyone? How you guys doing today? My name is Jeremiah Davis, CEO of Business Funding Now, and I am your funding coach. Welcome to Monday Funday, where I'm going to give you tips on business funding, okay? And as the title suggests, we have 6 SBA loans that could help you grow your business. All right. Actually, I got more than 6, but I started with 6. Now I got about 7, maybe 8. And some of these are you might not have ever heard of. Okay. And just that alone. And the SBA, if you don't know, SBA is Small Business Administration. They don't actually loan money. They guarantee up to like 40%. So it used to be 50%, but now I think it's more close to 40% of the loan. Okay, but a lender, a bank, will give you either where it depends on type of SBA loan, give you anywhere between 100% to 80% of the loan, and the SBA is guaranteeing the other half. And so if you default, the government will pay that half of the loan. Now, so this just for clarity, you're not getting a loan directly from the SBA. The SBA has programs where they guarantee a percentage of your loan with a bank, and then the bank takes the rest of the risk, and then that's how they underwrite it. But the reason I'm doing this is because there are some other SBA loan types that are easier to qualify for, okay? And you may qualify for one or more of these SBA loans and could get you for your business, to start your business, and to grow your business, okay? So let's just jump into it. The first one is we call it, all right, you might not, I don't know if you Google this and find it, but we call it the fast track loan. Like under the fast track SBA loan title, there are 4 loan types. So I'm going to cover all of those, right? And then we got the boost. Under the boost, the SBA boost loan, there is 3 different loan types. Then we have our 3 different types of 7A loans. And we have business acquisition, and we got startup financing, and we got SBA 504. Okay, so I'm going to go over the qualifications and requirements for each of these, and in their separate categories, so you'll know exactly if you qualify for those. And the best part is when you go to my website and apply, you can get pre-qualified in like 60 seconds for one of these. We're still tweaking out the algorithm for the AI to match you with that loan. So it might be tomorrow or the next day, but we'll have these built inside. This is just fresh, hot off the presses for me. So now I'm offering these as well. I already have lenders for them. Okay. So, okay. The first one is fast track. So we got 4 fast track. The fast track number 1 is $1 profit, right? So if your business is showing has a profit margin, right? You got to be in business for 2 years for most SBA loans, okay? So that's a given. I'm gonna cover that. But if you have if you've been in business for 2 years and on your tax returns, if your tax returns show that you lost money, then you're not going to qualify for this. All right. But if you made $1, okay, then you could qualify for this. Okay. So we're just going to call this one fast track $1 profit. All right. And that one's so for a profitable business with a tight margin, meaning you're barely making money, but you're still in the black. Okay. You're not in the red. Loans up to $150,000, right? So you can go from $50,000 to $150,000 for this this fast track $1 profit loan, right? The credit score you need for this is a 675 plus FICO score, and we're using FICO 8 if you're into that. All right, you know what FICO 8 or FICO 9 or FICO 6, 7, there's a bunch of different FICOs out there. There's different ones for car loans, home loans, etc. But for business funding, right now, we're still using FICO 8. All right. So you need a 675 FICO, 2 years time in business. And this loan is only for working capital. Now, when we say working capital, that means operating expenses, right? So you need cash so you can buy inventory. You need to buy supplies, products, what have you. You can use that for the general operation working capital of your business. That's what this type of loan. So up to $150,000 with a 675 FICO 8 credit score. So you can get the fast track $1 profit. You might qualify for that. The second fast track is the basic DSCR, right? That's a debt servicing type of loan. Basically, as long as your business is making approximately 1.15 times your debt. So you need to be making more profit than this $1 one. Okay. About 15% over your operating expenses. As long as you're making a 15% profit, when you break even, you got 15%, you qualify for this loan, right? It's a 1.15 DSCR, meaning DSCR means debt servicing, means that you're making 15%, you have 15% margins are in the black. So you can afford this type of loan, right? That 15% says, yeah, okay, I got a little extra cash. I got money to pay this loan. That's what they're looking for, okay? So when you see that, it's similar with real estate, but also with these type of loans, but they want to see that your business is making money that you can afford the loan. At the end of the day, lenders want to say, look at you and see if you can pay the money back in the story. All right. So for this one, this is designed for businesses with strong cash flow. Okay. And you can get up to $150,000, right? And you only need a 640 FICO score. Yeah. 640 FICO score. Okay. I forgot the $1 profit. It takes 2 weeks to close. That's another plus. All right. So you can get $150,000 in 2 weeks. The second one takes 2 weeks to close as well. Okay. And as long as you're making, like I said, 15%, you got 15% profit margin, you can qualify this. This one closes in 2 weeks as well. Now, check this part out. If you have a felony, you can qualify and apply for this loan. If you're a business owner, you've been in business for 2 years, you got a 650 credit score, you can apply for this loan and get closed in 2 weeks, and um, borrow up to $150,000. Okay, fast track. The third fast track loan, revenue based, fast track revenue based. Okay, this is credit driven. All right, this is flexible options for various borrowers' profile. You need a 680 credit score, so you got to have better credit score. 680 credit score, and you can borrow up to $150,000 on this one. And you can have a felony on your record. You can have bankruptcy allowed, and this one closes in 3 weeks. So it's a little better, but it's better. It's more contingent on your credit score. Okay, and then we have the Fast Track Plus. All right, these are larger loans. So if you got a higher loan amount, 150,000 to 350,000 for established businesses. Remember, 2 years in business is the benchmark. The 675 credit score, right? You need the DSCR needs to be 1.20, so 20% profit margin, and that loan closes in 3 weeks. It can only be used for working capital. So you got to check also what you're using the money for, and make sure you specify that that's what you're using the money for. Okay, because if you're not using the money for the appropriate way, the SBA you don't want to play with SBA. You don't want to play with the government at all. Okay, do everything by the book. Okay, and don't come with some type of shady stuff that don't do that. All right. These are large loans that they're willing to give a business if you qualify for to run your business. Really, all right. And my point being is these are not that difficult to qualify for. All right. If you've been taking care of your credit, you've been doing what you should be doing and paying your bills on time, running your business right, and trying to do the right thing, then I would suggest you apply. All right. So the fast track, we got the $1 profit one, right? You need that 675. You got to have 2 years in business, and you can use it for working capital, and it closes in 2 weeks. The fast track 1.15 DSCR, that means you can apply for up to $150,000. You need a 650 credit score, as long as you got 15% of profitability, closes in 2 weeks, and you can have a felony on your record, and you can still get qualified for that loan. Okay, fast track revenue base, that's credit driven. You need a 680 credit score. You can borrow up to $150,000, and you can be a felon, and you can have a bankruptcy on your record, and it closes in 3 weeks. And then with the fast track plus, right? This called a 675 credit score. You can borrow $150,000 to $350,000, and it closes in 3 weeks, and it can only be used for working capital. So 2 of those were only working capital. 2 of those, you can pretty much use it for whatever you want. All right, as long as it's business related. Okay. All right. So now the next category, we're talking about SBA boost loans, right? So we got a boost standard, we got a boost scorecard, and we got a boost quick 200K. Okay. So the boost standard, most flexible SBA loan program. You can borrow from $100,000 to $350,000. Funds for working capital, paying off debt, inventory, equipment, or commercial real estate. Okay. The DSCR varies, but it takes 30 to 45 days to close. Okay. The key takeaways there. All right. I would recommend you have a credit score of at least 650 or higher to apply. Okay. That is the SBA Boost standard. Now we got the SBA Boost scorecard for high credit, low risk borrowers, 200,000 to 350K, all right, thousand. You need a 700 plus credit score. All right, you can use the funds for working capital, pay off debt, equipment. Takes about 30 days to close, and no felonies. All right, no felonies for that one. Okay, then we got the Boost Quick 200K. All right, that is a speed focus for established firms, for well-established businesses. All right, a fixed 200K, right, loan, but you need to be doing 800K in annual revenue to qualify. All right, but your credit score only needs to be a 660. Okay, 660 plus. Okay, and can only be used for working capital, and it closes in 2 weeks. All right, all right. Now I'm gonna cover 3 different 7A loan types. All right, SBA 7A. All right, do I need to recap? It's the boost, the standard, the scorecard, and the quick 200K. Those were the 3 boosts, right? We're already covered. We got fast track, $1 profit, fast track DSCR with the 15% margin. We got the fast track revenue base. We got the fast track plus. All right. And then we had the boost standard, the boost scorecard, and the boost quick 500K. Okay. Y'all keeping up with me? All right. All right. So now we're going to talk about 7A refinance, 7A over 500K, and 7A commercial real estate, CRE. That is for commercial real estate. Okay. All right. So the first one, 7A refinance. Refinance existing 7A loan. So if you already have a 7A SBA loan and you need to refinance it, you can refinance it. That's what this is for. That's why it's called 7A refinance. All right. But that one, you're looking at $350K to $5 million. All right. $350,000 up to $5 million of refinancing money if you already have a 7A loan and you want to refinance it and try to get some more money or a better rate or whatever. You know, whatever reasons you have for refinancing, you could qualify for that. Now, credit score, 660 plus. Okay. All right. Now let's look at the 7A over 500K. For mature businesses needing $500 to $5 million. For mature businesses needing $500,000 to $5 million. All right. And you can use that money, right, for a wide use of funds. So that means working capital, equipment, inventory, whatever you need, expansion, building, all those things. Okay. You can do that. You can use that money. You don't have to refinance. You can pay off debt, whatever, business debt. Okay. Not personal debt, business debt. All right. But that is for people who've been in business a while and got good. They're going to ask for at least two years of business and personal tax returns. Okay. So you need to have your ducks in a row. All right. They're going to ask for profit and loss statements, balance sheets, all those types of things. All right. And it might be a good idea. Some of these, they're going to check your business credit score. And if you don't have a business credit score, then you might not get approved. But some of them, like the fast track and the boost, they might not check your business credit score at all. Okay. So that's part of the reason I'm doing this and trying to hone in. There are SBA loans out there for people if they qualify. But at the end of the day, they're always going to boil down to, can you afford the loan? How you have to establish how you're going to pay the money back. If you can't show them how you're going to pay the money back, you're not going to get the money. It's not rocket science. That's just the way it is. All right. So that one takes, here's the best part with that one. That one for well-established mature businesses, $500 to $5 million. Use it for whatever you need to use it for, business related. Your credit score, 600 plus credit for that loan. All right. Now you can have a 600 credit score, and if you've been in business, I would say at least 3 to 5 years or more. Yeah, that might be ideal for you. But again, you got to show that you can pay the money back. All right. And that one takes 45 to 60 days to close. Okay. So I know a lot of people are used to these long drawn out SBA can take, some of them can take up to 6 months. All right. But if you get your ducks in a row and supply all your supporting documents, then a lot of these can be done in a rapid formation. You can, in a couple of weeks, you can have money. Okay. But I'm giving this out to you to see if you can qualify. And, like I said in the beginning, do the quick app and see if you pre-qualify for any of these. All right. That's the idea here. Okay. Now the SBA 7A CRE. All right. This is to buy or refinance, catch me, hear me well, owner occupied real estate. All right. Commercial real estate. Owner occupied, to buy or refinance your commercial real estate property. Okay. Now you can get, you got to be owner occupied. So you got to be doing business out of this location. You want to buy that building, or you want to buy the building and run your business out of that building. This is what this is for. Okay. Or you're leasing and you're already established and the building has become available for sale, and you got the revenue to show for it. Then maybe you can buy the building yourself and own the building. Okay. That gives your business so much equity. Literally, a business that owns property versus a business that doesn't own property changes your fundability all the way around. Okay. So just be mindful of that. All right. So what else you got here? So those loans for the commercial real estate, to buy or refinance commercial real estate, you're looking at a $250 up to $5 million loan. All right. And they can go up to 100% loan to value on that type of financing, right? Credit score, 640. Oh, you only need a 640 credit score to qualify for this loan. All right. And the terms go out to 25 years. So if you've been wanting to buy the building that you're operating out of, talk to the owner and see if he willing to sell it and how much he's selling it for. And then give me a call and see if you can afford that. Okay. If you can show that you can afford it and you meet all the other criteria, then let's apply for you. Let's go ahead and go for it. Let's go for it. All right. All right. So we just covered 7A refinance. That's refinance existing 7A loans. 350 to 500,000. All right. You must have, I didn't cover this, you must have 10% must save 10% on your profit and loss. 60-day close, 660 credit score. All right. That was a 7A refinance existing 7A loans. And then we talked about the 7A over 500, need a 600 credit score. For mature businesses, needing $500,000 to $5 million, can be used for anything 45 to 60 days close. And then we have the 7A commercial real estate, to buy or refinance owner-occupied real estate, $250 to $5 million, up to 100% low LTV, and a 640 credit score, and a 25-year term on that loan. All right. All right. Now let's go into, I'm going to go to the SBA business acquisition, one to buy a business. All right, let me tell you first, when you're looking to buy a business, the SBA is going to want to see not only your finances, but the business owner finances and credit as well. So you're going to have to get a lot of documentation from the owner, the current owner, for you to buy that business. All right, they want to see tax returns, business and personal, credit, the debt servicing, how much debt does the company have, all the details. Okay. But those loans go from $250,000 up to $5 million. And your credit score is, you need to have a 640 credit score. Okay. You also need 10% down. That's where you can come to me and we can find you that 10% and another loan option. It might be a personal loan. It might be a business loan. It might be a revenue-based loan. It might be business credit cards. It depends on your situation, depending on your circumstances, how you can get that 10%. Maybe do it, use equity in the property or equipment, or resources that you may have. So that's a conversation we have to talk about and figure out how much the business is being sold for, and how to get you the 10% as a down payment for that type of loan. Okay. Now that can also be offset by the seller note, that 10%. That's something we're getting into the weeds. I'm not going to get into that now, but hit me up. We'll figure it out. Okay. Now I'm going to talk about the SBA 504. SBA 504. All right. These SBA loans are titled and classified for specific use. Okay. So it's important to know which type of SBA loan that you want to apply for, and make sure you're applying for the right one for your situation. All right. So the SBA 504 is a long-term fixed rate commercial real estate financing option, right? So you're buying commercial real estate. These loans go from $500,000 up to $18 million. 18 million. But don't get no crazy ideas. You got to be able to pay that 18 million back. You got to show them how you can pay that money back. All right. All right. But your credit score is a 660. You only need a 660 credit score, and you could qualify for up to $18 million. All right. The term is for 25 years. Okay. Now these are CDC, right? Economic Development Community. That's what CDC stands for. Structure. So that means in urban cities where you can buy property and run your business out of it. Okay. Now those take 120 days to close. So that's 4 months. All right. Okay. And then the last one I'm going to go over is startup financing. Okay. SBA backed capital for new ventures. Get $250 up to $5 million. All right. With a 640 credit score, you have 10% equity required, 10% down payment. All right. And they close in 45 to 60 days. So see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? I know some of y'all out there scared to apply for SBA loans because you think you don't qualify. All right. But you might qualify. And it ain't going to hurt to find out. It ain't going to kill you to find out. Knowledge is power. The more knowledge you have, the more power you have, the more resources you have. You get access to more things when you know what to apply for and how to apply. That's the beautiful thing about Business Funding Now, as we want to pre-qualify you before we apply. We want to give you all the details on the loan type before you apply. We want to make sure you qualify before you apply. Okay, at least we can't guarantee nothing. All right, anybody in the business funding that guarantees, they're lying. All right, I deal with this all day, every day. I have clients that come to me, they got good credit, but they might not have the income, or they have the income, but they don't have the credit. And a lot of people get slammed in the MCA loans. Where I do MCA loans too, because sometimes that's the only thing a business owner can qualify for at this particular time. But I always try to coach them and advise them how to get an MCA and how to manage it right. And then let's strategize to find a way to get you out of it before you have to pay the full amount back, right? Because you can be paying 40, 50% on an MCA. But we got lenders that will pay off your MCA or refinance your MCA into a term loan or a fixed rate loan or something like that. All right. And then we have some of these that can refinance debt. You can use some of these SBA loans to refinance business debt. All right. Now, the SBA, a couple months ago, they changed the rules. There's certain SBA loans that cannot be used to pay off MCAs. Or we have other lenders that will. Okay. So don't think just because you got a couple of MCAs that you might not qualify for this. We have options for you. Now, I don't know if you qualify or not. I won't know until you complete a quick app and we have a conversation. See what you're working with, and then I'm going to try to find you I'm going to match you with the best loan and the best lender that I can, so you get the money. Okay. So, so the startup business funding, SBA backed capital for new ventures, $250 to $5 million, 640 credit score, 10% equity required, and 45 to 60-day close time. Okay. So that was what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 different SBA loans, right? I said 6, I gave you 13. So how they do it? How the young folk do it? Anyway, listen, call me, ask me questions. I'm gonna give you the best. If I don't know, I don't know everything. If I don't know, I'm gonna tell you I don't know. I'm gonna find out, and I'm gonna get back with you. Okay, but at least if you don't qualify, at least you have the knowledge. You will have the knowledge to what you need to do to get qualified. Okay, that's the worst thing. That's the worst that can happen. By connecting with me, completing a quick app, let's have a conversation. Let's see what you're working with and see what you qualify for. I'm going to match you with the best loan and the best lender that meets your criteria matches their criteria, right? Your situation matches the bank criteria, right? Whether your credit, whether your cash flow, whatever your industry type, whatever time in business. All right. If you're in business less than 1 year, you don't have a lot of options. Okay, there's lines of credit, and there's MCAs, and there's a couple other loan products, equipment, things like that. So you can qualify. It just depends on what you're trying to do with it, what you want to do with it. All right, but instead of you just sitting there trying to figure out what you qualify for, talk to a professional. At least somebody that's been doing this for 15 years might know a couple things. I don't know everything. I know a couple things. Okay. And these are some really nice SBA loans that we covered tonight. And then we'll be putting this information out. And I know my team started today into building these into our algorithm to pre-qualify you with our quick app, right? I mean, literally, you put in your data, in 60 seconds, you're going to get a funding range report. It's totally free, right? No hard credit check, anything like that. And then it's going to give you the loan types that you pre-qualify for, the documents that we need for that loan type, and the funding estimate, right? And the estimate is just an average rough estimate based on your business revenue and things like that we come up with the funding range. But it's conservative because we want to under promise and over deliver. That's the point to that. But it gives you some information that you don't currently have, right? And the more information you have, or even just by looking at the documents that you need for that loan type, will help you tremendously. Okay, so just to recap really quickly, we got Fast Track, $1 profit, Fast Track DSCR, Fast Track Revenue Base, and Fast Track Plus. Okay, then we had the Boost. We had the SBA Boost Standard, SBA Boost Scorecard, and SBA Boost Quick 200K. All right. Then we have 7A Refinance. We had 7A 500K Plus. We have 7A CRE, Commercial Real Estate. All right. Then we have Business Acquisition, and we had SBA 504, and we had Startup Financing. So, and remember, there was 2 or 3 of these that you only needed a 600 credit score. So, check it out. Anyway, that's my time for this week. Catch me next week. Like, follow, share. All right. Listen, this is the time to become an entrepreneur. If you're, since post-COVID, pre-COVID, post-COVID, if you're not an entrepreneur, you want to be an entrepreneur, you're looking to get your business going, book a phone, go to my website. And if you don't want to fill out the quick app, I wish you would, but you can schedule an appointment with me. I'll have a conversation with you and give you some basic tips and things you need to work on to get you to where you want to go. Okay. But if you don't have any other resources but your day job, then you need to get your credit above a 680, right? And with no derogatories, no lates, no defaults, anything like that. Okay. No collections. You don't be applying for a bunch of stuff. You get too many inquiries, it's going to disqualify you. But if you make $50,000 a year and you got a 680 credit score, we can do business credit cards and personal credit cards. That'll get you some working capital to get your business off the ground. Okay. And then we can look at building your business credit and giving you some business credit cards that you can use instead of your personal credit cards to finance your business. But just don't bite off more than you can chew. Okay. Take your if it takes baby steps, take the baby steps. You'll get there. All right. Just don't give up. All right. My name is Jeremiah Davis. I'm the CEO of Business Funding Now and your funding coach. Peace.